The hell? Am I live yet? Hang on, I'll be right back. I think I'm back. Am I live? Can anybody hear me? My Monster Java is empty. Oh man. What's everybody been up to? Peeps! Stacy's been in here the longest. Stacy's been in here for a while. Applesauce. Froggers. What's going on, Froggers? Man, oh, I can't read. Oh, that's what my problem is. Hang on. I'm sitting here, I'm like, why can I not? I had it on minimize. And it was just showing half the sentence. Man, what's everybody been up to? I've been working my fingers to the bone. But yeah, man, these YouTubers, man, what's wrong with them? John Boy ain't putting out any live streams or hardly any videos. Applesauce hadn't put out any new videos. Now Peeps putting out a lot of stuff. They go John X Army done boo went way out there. He's now a high vibration. Yeah. Man, I don't want to go to work, Frogger. Because I definitely don't make enough doing what I do. But you got to do what you got to do. And Peeps, you got to get on an airplane if you need to work. Oh, man. I was going to get on the bicycle, but it started raining. Man, I don't want to work in the garage, Frogger. I've done that. I don't like it. I don't like working on my own stuff, let alone somebody else. I used to keep all my stuff where you could eat off the motor. I mean, they were clean, but oh, Jeep minus how many miles? About another 13,000 miles. I'll have 300,000 miles on it, and I've had an oil leak about every bit of those, so it's pretty oily. Oh, Stacy, man, she's been hanging in here for a while. I got a custom chopper. I call it the chainsaw chopper bike. It's got a 30, what is it? Daggone, I can't remember what cc. What's that? Like a 36 cc Poland chainsaw motor on it. Well, how's it going, Skywatcher footage? It's been crazy. Man, did y'all see that daggone? See, I can't share it on here. I wished I could. Man, the other day when I was up in Jackson, man, there's this like triangle up in the clouds, and the clouds were like morphing around it, and the clouds are coming around the top edges. It was weird, man. I took some still shots and I took a little video of it. Yeah, I'm doing all right, Skywatcher. I hope you are. It started raining. I'm surprised this thing's even streaming out because, I mean, it's raining, it's overcast. Oh, man. Okay. So you are doing a little motorized bicycle. That's what I do. I'm using the really 63cc two strokes. But I'm hitting 50 mile an hour on a 20. What size is that? 20. What size is this bike? 26. Oh, yeah, I'm hitting 50 with a 26-inch bike with a two stroke. I can run like 40 mile an hour continuously. It might slow down at 35 going up a hill. Yeah, I was fixed to get it out and it started raining. That's why I got this on. I was fixed to wow, and I was like, I wonder if I could put a camera on my mailbox and just have video me at least going by or something. I don't know, but I got the funk too. I don't feel like doing this YouTube stuff for some reason, y'all. Actually, I don't feel like doing anything. It's like my energy level's so daggum low. Man, and if y'all hear me snoring, all y'all can do is listen to it. No, unless somebody knows my number, they can call me. Wake me up. Whoops. No. Oh, man, y'all. I ain't lying, man. Everybody's in the funk. Daggum enlightened Skywatcher. I don't know. I think he started working. That might be part of the problem. Work interferes with YouTube. I promise you, work interferes with YouTube. But yeah, man, yeah, the energy's gone, Stacy. I'm talking about gone. It's weird. And oh man, it's some crazy stuff. This land, the reason I got this land is like when I first come on here, I was looking for what was growing wild, wild edibles, right? So I didn't find any persimmon trees or anything like that. But there's like hickory nuts and beech nuts and all sorts, wild pin cherries and huckleberries and just I was like, man, there's no maypops. Would you believe the next summer maypops started growing? And then I was like, you know what? I need a mulberry tree. And I was like, I know where I can get one. Because I wanted to dig up some root stock because I knew where some good mulberry trees were. And I was like, man, I'll do that. Well, that was before spring started. And then I sat there and I got to noticing I had a mulberry tree. That thing like 25 foot tall. I'm like, where did that come from? So I don't have to worry about a mulberry tree. I don't have to worry about a fig tree. I got a fig tree coming up. It's just crazy. But what I was going to get to was the other day. Well, it was yesterday. I was sitting there. I went in part of my yards. I'm trying to. I'm doing it backwoods style. But there's this little area I made that's. How am I trying to say that? I'm using trees and stuff like that as like a natural privacy barrier and stuff, and made like a little maze kind of deal where it's a little. But anyhow, I got these certain I don't even know what you call them, and it was weird. I thought, that would be a good place for a snake to hang out. And no sooner did I say that, it was like poof. There's this little big, well, it was about that long, but a little grass snake, green grass snake, right in front of me. Right as soon as I thought that, it's like poof, there it was. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I reached up there and I picked him up and I pet him on his head. It was crazy. But anyhow, what was I talking about? I can't keep this cigarette lit. Oh man. But yeah, and like I found what 15 arrowheads and one spearhead. And one of the arrowheads, which I've already showed it before, and it's sitting. Where's it sitting? That one right there. It was sitting on my step. I mean, it was sitting on my step. Well, let me tell you about this snake. That's all right. I got a couple of hummingbird feeders up, right? Well, one morning I was sitting there and I heard the hummingbirds, but they weren't going over to the feeder. I'm like. So I looked over at the feeder and I was like, well, I don't remember a branch like that over there. And then I looked and I was like, man, that looks like a snake. So I walked over there and dadgum, if this snake hadn't crawled up that little maple tree and come out on the branch and then like hung its head off the branch and laid its chin on top of one of the little foot perches for the hummingbird feeder. And it was waiting for those hummingbirds. It was, I guess, snatching them. I don't know if it'd been doing it or that was its first attempt. And I was like, So I got a stick because I didn't, man, I don't know what that thing was like 4 foot long. It was like that big around. And it was eye level. That's how high that branch was. I was like, ugh. And that thing, it would constrict around. I think it was a rat snake. It had round pupils. But it had some wide jaws. I think it was a rat snake because they're a constrictor and they got kind of jaw. They're kind of like a python look in a way. But anyhow, that thing, it took me 15 minutes to get that sucker out of the tree. And I told him when it ran off, I was like, don't come back. But if it's a copperhead, I'm going to kill it. I'm sorry, I got to. Because those things bite my dog. My dog will not back down from those either. You know what I mean? I think it was a rat snake because they're about the only ones that will climb in trees. Copperheads and water. Well, I think a water mouse going to climb up in a tree. It wasn't a king snake. Man, the biggest rat, I guess it was a rat snake I ever seen over here. I was, it was, how many years ago was it? Like 5 years ago, but I think I just saw it a few weeks ago. And it was going across the road, and that thing, his tail was at the center line of the road, and his head was at the white line. That's how long it was. It was big, man. I mean, I don't know how many feet that is, but like 8 feet. But when I first released my squirrels on this property, I was coming out of the woods on the path, and I just happened. I mean, I heard it and just saw it. I guess, man. I looked, and there's like a rat snake or whatever, but it was like 6 foot long. That thing was like that big around, and it was headed straight for the squirrel cage that I just opened up, and the squirrel was out in the trees and stuff. And I was like, oh no. And I threw some sticks down trying to make it change its path, but it kept sticking that little tongue out, and I guess it was tasting the squirrel in the air. And I was like, oh no. And I got a cigarette and I lit it up, and I didn't inhale, I just put it in my mouth. And I get down there and I'd blow it in that snake's face. And I finally made that snake turn around. But man, that thing could have got me because I was like getting 2 foot from its face and it was like 6 foot long. They can strike half their distance. So wherever their head is, they can go. If it's 6 foot long, that head can go 3 foot any way around from where it's at. Ouija is crazy applesauce. Yeah, when she did that copperhead in the middle of the woods, I had all I had on was shorts and flip flops. And the leaves, it was real dry and stuff. And man, I was already worried about just being where everything was cut. And I got about, I don't know, 20 foot away and I saw the snake. And she was like 2 foot from it, just rawr, rawr, rawr. And I had to go over there and get her. And here I am, I'm looking at a copperhead. And I'm sitting there wearing flip flops in the middle of the woods, stepping in the leaves that were going up past my ankles. I mean, it's real thick and dry. I'm like, man, there's no telling what's underneath these. Is Emily? Emily, how you doing? I'm just chilling out, man. I hadn't done a live in a while. I've learned I can't move much on camera to make me buffer. So that's why I'm not moving much. I think that's why I can't get a Hangouts live out. Or maybe it's I can't find anybody to call. I don't know. But anyhow, it's starting to rain. I'm surprised it's even getting out. It's raining, overcast. Oh man. You know, I don't know. Where's Born Racer at? He ain't made it in here yet. Somebody go knock on the shower door. Because he's usually in his last video, he said something about he got out of the shower. I was like, man, that boy's in the shower all the time. Enlightened Skywatcher, there you are. We all have lost our drive. I mean, look at me. Look at applesauce. She ain't put anything out. I mean, she spit a video out, 2 videos out a couple weeks ago. Man, what's wrong with applesauce? What's wrong with you, Enlightened Skywatcher? Peeps, man, Peeps is throwing videos out left and right now. Emily's throwing out the inspirational bits of the day. And I appreciate that, Emily. Hey, this is man, I'm just telling you, it's like all my energy's been sucked out of me, man. I don't feel like doing nothing. I really don't. Me too, Enlighten. Crossroad. And the weird thing about it, that crossroad has got Y's on each of them too. So it seems like if I decide to quit, it's going to affect others. See, look at that. Applesauce says she needs John Boy. I can't quit. And that's what I was trying. I don't know. You cut before you got on the bus. I tried to, chat something in there. What did I say? I said, just, don't worry about how many people are viewing it. Just be you. Get on there. Look at me. If the best way to compare my style would be the Seinfeld style, because that show was about nothing. You know what I mean? I do talk about stuff, but it's more about just the people, I guess. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people, for some reason, like to watch my lives, and I don't know why. Yes, Sky Enlightened Skywatcher, you need to hook up on the original Hangouts live. You need to get me and Emily and everybody on because Hangouts is fixed to be gone August the 1st. That's crazy. That is. I mean, why? Why are they doing away with Hangouts? Doesn't make sense. I'm trying to get hooked up on it, and it's going to be shut down for. That's like Google Plus. I like Google Plus. I don't know why did they get rid of it. What, it ain't like they don't have enough room for it. Well, so yeah, it's hard to watch. But I try to watch them. But most of the problem is I don't get notified. That's most of the problem. Shauna in the house. Yeah, and that's another thing. I need to get on all these platforms because John Boy for president. Make America redneck again. I gotta get the campaign going. These daggum Democrats getting up there looking like fools. And Donald, he's trying to do what he can, but we need John Boy in the White House. I can't read that. For some reason, I don't know if this laptop just all I see is applesauce. All I see is 6 squares and 3 hearts. I don't know. uh, it's sprinkling out there. Yeah, I don't know. I make kind of short videos. That one though, that triangle up in that cloud, I could see. And look, that what I videoed. I mean, you can see it on my YouTube channel. That cloud formation stayed in that one area. I mean, it moved around like maybe a half a mile, but it stayed generally. I mean, right where it was at. I know that. I mean, it would. If I was on my tablet applesauce, I would have been able to read it, but I wouldn't be able to read it on my phone or this laptop. I don't even think my desktop. It's crazy. StreamYard. I heard Zoom. I don't know much about any of it. I've got a DLive account and I can't remember what the name of it is. It's like John Boy 5 or something. I don't know. There's a few John Boys ahead of me on DLive. And come to find out, there's other John Boys on YouTube that are active now. I mean, I had a John Boy in chat one day. But yeah, I was trying to get some tunes going. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden it went live. I figured it was just going to whirly bird for a while, you know. But I don't know, y'all, man. I've just been like, feel like every bit of energy's been sucked out of me. I feel like I could just, I'm gonna shut up. I feel like I'd just take my last breath and be done with it. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. I'm trying to read the chat, y'all. Steaks and chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, man, that's another problem too. It's been so hot and humid, and the mosquitoes and everything. I get tired of those things biting me all the time. I hear some locusts out there chirping up right now. Man, we were having heat indexes of like 109 degrees last week. It was hot. I'm talking about you didn't have to do anything but stand still and drip sweat. It was crazy. And I was out in that daggum roaster or whatever they call that bright thing that they provide light to us with. Whew. It's crazy. I don't get it. They've got a somehow or another, they're really high up in the sky with these little straight cloud patterns. And they're but anyhow, by the time the sun starts rising, it seems like in between the ground and the little straight line patterns they got all over the place, clouds start forming in between those two. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know. It's weird. It's like they control the amount of sunlight you get. I don't know. Well, thank you, Enlighten. I wish I could do a hangouts with you. I do. Man, well, I'll talk about that later. You had 102 actual temperature, peeps. Because we haven't, I think we hit 99, but that day we had a heat index of 109, I think. One day it was it was like 98 one day, and we still had a heat index of like 108. Well, thank you, Susan. I've had it for a while. I need to get a haircut, man. I'm starting to look like one of those. My hair's starting to hang out like a Persian cat. Let me tuck that in. I had a haircut like what 2 months ago. I can't remember. And you know what's weird? The laws out here in Tennessee. A motorized bicycle. I mean, it's just a motorized bicycle. If it meets the requirements put forth by the state of Tennessee, has a 49cc motor, does not do over was it 30 mile an hour on a level, is still considered a bicycle in the eyes of the state. But there's two exceptions to the bicycle rule. You must have driver's license and you must wear a motorcycle helmet. But they've got this other thing called a motor scooter. You can't pedal it or nothing. It's not a moped and it's not a mini bike, it's a motor scooter. You can ride that on the street with no tags, no helmet, and no driver's license. I'm like, hang on, this is not making any sense. Well, how's it going, love for angels? Yeah, I didn't even, the title explains it. I just didn't really feel like going live. I had to push myself because I'm telling these other people out here, you need to get your work done and get it published. And here I am, not, you know, if it's good for the goose, it's got to be good for the gander, right? So here I am. I made myself. No, I'm kidding. Well, I kind of did. Kind of didn't, kind of did. Hmm. Man, it's so humid right now. The temperature's not that hot. Well, it's kind of weird. Got cloud cover, but you can feel uh, like a heat lamp's over you, even though it's not even bright. You can just feel heat coming down. It's probably the UVC because the UVC is not supposed to get to the Earth's, surface. It's supposed to get caught up there in the atmosphere, the firmament, or the dome, or whatever that thing is that's above us. That's supposed to stop the UVC. I'm gonna get a. I was trying to read chat. I hadn't been looking at it. Hmm. But yeah, it's been crazy, man. But these cloud, like that triangle cloud, I think I labeled that. I need to change the title of it. I think I labeled it "Yeah, Right" or something like that. But I didn't want to label it anything, and the algorithm pick it up. You know what I mean? If I had to put triangle craft in clouds, well, it probably wouldn't have showed it, or it might nowadays since they're doing this disclosure thing. Who knows? Woo! Registered at 60. That's really high. The highest I ever seen him I've watched is, I mean, they're only like less than 3 minute videos. But the highest I ever saw on his was like a 52 or something. That's pretty high. I mean, zero is what it's supposed to be. And think about this UVC. That's basically, we're being microwaved. You know how they're talking about the mussels in California were getting cooked in their shells? Well, it wasn't due to the heat of the sun. It was due to the UVC that was penetrating. And I mean, it's like a microwave. UVC is, it does cellular. It messes up your cells. You know what I'm saying? Cellular. How come I can't say that right? Cellular. That's crazy. Got tongue twisted on that one. But yeah, it's penetrating deep into our muscle tissue and stuff. I mean, it's penetrating. It's not just hitting and stopping on our skin. It's going through our skin, our muscle, and probably into our bones. That's why, I mean, long sleeve shirt, it's not really, I mean, to stop the UVA and B, but that we're fixing to have to walk around in lead suits or something, for real. Yeah, we're gonna have to go deep underground. You know what I mean? But it is. It's molecular changing. It'll change our cells. It'll change. I mean, look at the plants. They'll do all right in the beginning of spring and stuff, but when you get into the summertime, when it's getting all that bright stuff, man, those leaves start curling and deforming. And I found so many different species of plants and trees that's got all sorts of weird growths on the leaves and the limbs and like cancerous looking stuff. And the blackberry bushes, I mean, everything gets affected. Well, applesauce, she couldn't bring the baby in the store. What else was she supposed to do? I'm sorry. Mm. I don't even want to tell this tragic story, so I'm gonna shut. Well, Natural Time Dragon, how you doing? And thanks for showing up. There's a guy in this state that sat there and killed his 5-year-old son over the last piece of Father's Day cheesecake. And he was in court trying to get bail set so he could go to his son's funeral. I mean, really? The man killed his own son over cheesecake? Father's Day cheesecake. I mean, come on. Have you noticed about this time of the year, the leaves on the trees try to turn upside down and they try to duck underneath the other leaves? I mean, they're trying to hide from the sunlight right about now. Just watch out and then start watching the treetops. they'll go from being, how am I trying to say it, pointy to just starting to look, flat across the top instead of being point. However, I'm not throwing any signs, y'all. I'm just trying to show something. Oh, and I caught a dadgum Australian funnel spider. So, I mean, it's probably dead. I forgot about it. I hadn't looked at it in a few days, but I'm trying to prove. I mean, at least I got the DNA that I can go have it taken somewhere and have it checked. This dadgum Australian funnel spider. They've been in Tennessee for over 10 years. That's the sixth one I've caught. And if I've caught six of them, how many others are out there? Yeah, Stacy, it's inevitable. Oh, you ain't seen anything yet, applesauce. This from now till the end of August is burn city. That sun's just gonna cook. I think I figured out some other stuff. I think with all this particulate they got in the sky, I mean, when you see blue skies, it's not really blue because if you can see an airplane, it's kind of, you can tell it's in a fog. You know what I mean? And I think that's doing something when the sun gets down at an angle or, coming up at an angle. It's causing the light to diffuse weird. I don't know. I think they've actually caused the greenhouse effect instead of trying to, they're saying, they're bouncing the sunlight back out. I think the heat's getting trapped in. And that theory would work dome or globe. I'm neither either because it doesn't affect my life. I always say that, but that's the truth. It doesn't affect me. The lighting is not right, man. It's weird. You can look in one clump of clouds. There'll be a pink cloud, white cloud, gray cloud. I mean, come on. And if you see those brown clouds, they move. They will get inside one of those long straight clouds, and they will travel up it and then come out and jump in another one, and then they'll jump into a cloud system. The best way to watch that is get some binoculars. Oh, the other day, talking about the light and stuff, dude, I have some, I don't know what it is. I think it's like a leaf lettuce. I don't know. It might be like collard green, but it's a big old leafy green like that. And it's so big it flipped upside down, and the bottom of it's showing. Well, there's burn spots on it. Well, there were still dewdrops here and there, and the sun was coming up. So I just sat there and watched. And that's what's happening, man. The dewdrops are magnifying the sunlight, and it's making it burn. Or is it the chemicals in that dewdrop from, but I think it's the sunlight magnifying in there. It could be the aluminum particles or something that's help magnifying. I don't know, but I should have videoed it and I didn't. That gun lighting, I thought you done jetted out. You just got all quiet on me in there. Yeah, I do too, Steve. I think it's both. I think it's the chemical and the light, but the light's not right. Yeah, I thought the light done got on the bus again. Yeah, I was wondering what happened to you in Leiden. Usually streaming. Then you had this one. I don't know. It sounded like sounded like you're about to quit. And I was like, oh man. But don't worry about it. You don't have to have a bunch of people in chat. It doesn't really matter. What matters is, the people that show up, people that come back. I've been working so much. If anybody's going live during the day, I'm missing everything. I'm talking about basically, I'm not seeing anything on the internet till about 7 o'clock at night. And then I'm so wore out and everything, I'm going to bed 4 or 9. And then I got to get up and do it all over again. I don't have time to look at the internet in the morning. So 7 o'clock the next afternoon. But yeah, man, the energy levels was messed up with me. I hear thunder in the distance. But yeah, man, I just been like right now, I got my hand, I'm like, I could go to sleep right now. I don't know, Shauna. But you know what I come up with? This is another philosophy I come up with. Whatever, like that video I did, I said, yeah, right. But the triangle ship that was in that cloud, that could, I mean, this is how I've looked at it. Is that dimensional trying to come into this dimension? I mean, you know what I mean? There's dimensional stuff going on. I mean, God is dimensional. You know what I'm saying? God is present around us all the time, but yet he's not here. We can't see him, right? So that's another dimension. And the devil's the same way. What's going on, Roots? Roots is up in the house. Is Emily still in there? I didn't forget about you, Emily. I just get to rambling sometimes. And then I forget to look at chat. And then I get quiet and I'm looking at chat. But yeah. It's just crazy, man. And look, the stuff going on in the Gulf Coast, and this is what I've noticed over the last 2 definite years. And if I think back, there's a few times I might can remember, but for the last 2 years, I've noticed when I see those airplanes leaving those big spreading contrails, and they're flying, and they'll be flying from south to north instead of from west to east. There's something going on in the Gulf Coast every time. Every time I see them going south to north, there's something happening in the Gulf Coast or about to happen. And if y'all get to watching, man, I've been watching weather patterns for like 30 years or better. They figured out the best places to start their storms, and if you watch, it's always in the same places. And what's weird, with Pete's ought to know, Texas is dry as hell, but that's where a lot of thunderclouds start forming up for some reason. And that's because they got these cloud making, they call them, they say it's rocket test facilities, rocket engine test facilities, but they're just using jet engines, rocket engines to convert water into instantaneous steam. And that goes up and makes clouds. I mean, come on, y'all. You can see it from satellite. And that's like today. I got to where I leave all my mobile stuff at home if I'm just going to town and stuff like that. And I had to go to laundromat, right? Man, where was I going with this story? Hang on, I'll get back to that story in a minute. Where was I going with that story, y'all? I just had a brain fart. Anyhow, I'll get back to that. I forgot where I was going with that. That's how bad my mind is anymore. Thank you. Thanks for spraying the skies and protecting me. That gum dummies. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they do, peeps. They got them everywhere. And look, y'all know a long time ago, well, they're probably still doing it, but they started, I can't remember the year, but it was probably like in the 70s, 80s. NASA wanted to see what would happen if what they did, they shot up like they had some old used or not used, but they had some Saturn rockets that they wasn't going to use, right? And they're like, well, why don't we fill up the second stage or whatever? I don't know how many stages, whatever stage got them into orbit, and that next stage that was supposed to propel them to the moon or whatever. Anyhow, why don't we fill that tank full of water, put it in space, and explode it and see what happens with the water? Brilliant, right? So that's what they do. They get up there and they started exploding tanks that had like 100,000 gallons of water in it. And daggum water, when it come out of those tanks, would go whoop and make a big old round thin ring. And not only did America do that, the Chinese did it, and whoever else was shooting rockets into space, Russia, they were doing it too. And I think that's part of our problem. Some of these real high, thin clouds we see that hang around all day long, that's probably the water they blew up in orbit, or, up in the top. These round discs we're seeing is probably water. And check this out. Who knows? They probably had the water fortified with some sort of metal so they could use frequencies and adjust it as a adjustable lens. Because you can make a furnace with water. Y'all ever seen that? Where you get the four posts and put the plastic on it and pour water in it, and that sun come through there and make like 5,000 degrees. I mean, come on. What everybody needs to do is find some of the oldest people you can find and ask them, have they ever seen weather like this? Because I can tell you right now, I've never seen weather like this. I remember, when I was a kid, a thunderstorm, we might have, they'd warn us 38-mile-an-hour winds. 38? Man, we're supposed to get those kind of winds tomorrow for no reason at all. And nowadays, when we get a thunderstorm, they're like, could produce 75 to 80-mile-an-hour winds. Oh, come on. I don't think it's falling from space, Stacy. It just got stuck up there. And it's it's up there. And it's like a film. The dummies probably got stupid enough and blew up oil up there so it would shine over top of the water they got over there. I mean, and then CERN on top of it. CERN is what, man, I'm telling y'all, I've watched Blue Kool-Aid, and if you look at that thing that shows the Earth and then the magnetic field around it, if you look at that stuff, it's in a spiral, man. That stuff is in a spiral and it's going straight to Earth. We are in a black hole or something. That's why we're having the Mandela effects and all that stuff, because we are going into a black hole right now. Or something. Something ain't right. What happened? What I missed? Man, y'all, one time I went to laundromat. This is years and years and years ago. But I got talking to him. He's an old dude, man. And he said, I'm gonna tell you a secret. And I was like, what's that? He said, I went back on 30 minutes. I'm like, what? Then we really got to talking. And he drew me a diagram of how to do it. And it uses like 2 4-foot pieces of copper tube and some rubber to insulate it. And you lay it across each other like that with the rubber in between, in between the 2 pieces. And they got to be facing north, south, east, west. And you got to bury it like, I think it was 8 inches or something like that in the ground. And you stand on the very spot where it intersects. But anyhow, it was kind of interesting. And back then, I was really experimenting with magnets and copper. And that was kind of weird. It's weird. Nobody knew I was doing it. Well, I was doing it on Google Plus. But for that guy to show up and tell me he went back in time and used copper, and I'm already experimenting with copper and magnets, I was like, man, that's, it's weird how stuff works like that. Oh yeah, peeps, you can. Yeah, in the old days, you could ride out in the rain. Yeah, nowadays, no. You might have some sheer wind hit you or something. Oh, we've all been. I've seen time snap right in front of me. Just it was just totally a whole different situation. It's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, they're still like the weatherman. They tell you when the thunder roars, go indoors. That's because they don't want when that thunder and lightning's hitting. They don't want you seeing what's doing that or hear what's doing that because you can hear it up there. It's crazy. You can hear stuff up there going, just all sorts of crazy tunes and stuff. I don't know applesauce. They do have a tax for that. If you'd like to do more than $2 signs, you have to pay 50 cents extra. Oh yeah, man. Jackson had a lightning storm. Jackson had, let's see, what day was that? Thursday. Man, that's when the dude went crazy on me and I left and I thought I was gonna make a video the next day where I quit. But anyhow, the day that Thursday, man, it was lightning so bad. I mean, it was like boom, 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 boom. And I mean, it was like as soon as you're seeing the flash, you're hearing the thunder. It wasn't like it was way off. It was hitting all in Jackson as I was driving. And I got home and I turned on the news. They were having high water rescues in Jackson in a daggum Tractor Supply parking lot, man. It was crazy. Oh yeah, it's not lightning like natural lightning. This stuff here is generated lightning that we're seeing. Or it's plasma, interconnections from outer space somehow that's making its own form of lightning. I mean, I guess magnetics could be, I mean, think about it, magnetics. Wouldn't magnetics in some way, isn't magnetics moving? I mean, it attracts or it repels, right? So somehow or another, magnetics is a movable force. So if that's the case, could magnetics be coming into Earth fast enough to cause friction in the atmosphere to make these weird colored lightning bolts? I mean, who knows? I mean, think about it. I go deep sometimes. Oh man, I wish they'd let me out of this straitjacket. No. Oh no, you can't. You should. Somebody said moderators can. One time, and they showed me they put American flags up. But I don't. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up. I was gonna say I don't support that flag anyhow. I'm a free man. I'm sovereign. I'm fixed to be Mr. President to every one of y'all. I'm kidding. Y'all can still call me John Boy. President John Boy. That's gonna be a good title. Dun, 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 dun. Now entering President John Boy. What is it, applesauce? It's a whole bunch of everything. It's some form of light energy, is all I know. I don't know what it is. But I know one time when I first moved out here, and I mean, I was saying that it was a freak kind of weird storm, but I could hear the air going across the crafts, like you know how airplanes and air show pull real hard. You can hear that wind. I could hear stuff up above me pulling out of dives and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And there's more than one, and there were straight pink bolts coming down, but it'd be like the front part of it was brighter than the rest of it. And it, I mean, be a quarter mile from me, I'm not hearing sound. And then the sound would come later, and it was crazy. Yeah. Gonna make it redneck again, Stacy. Squash is in the house. What are you doing, Squash? You had people worried, Squash. But I did a live hangouts and your daughter got on the chat and I asked about you and she said you were fine. So I said, you know what? Let me just put out I'm gonna do a live and make it update. Squash is fine. I just want everybody to know you're fine. Oh man. That moonshine had you on the floor all this time. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been wore out. That's what we've been talking about. The energy levels, something's wrong. Something's different. Shoot, matter of fact, today just felt when I was driving, it just felt like it wasn't real. I don't know. But I do know this. Ouija was sitting in my lap when I was driving. I went to let down the window a little bit, and she jumped over on the passenger side real quick. She looked at that window and jumped over. She remembers jumping out that window. I think. Well, I don't know. I think she'd still dive out of it if a dog was on the side of the road. Yeah, it squashes the energy, man. Look at all the earthquakes. Daggum, Marfugel, it hit right. He was dead center. He's on the run. That earthquake scared him. He's in the car. I don't know where he's at. I don't know that joker. And then John X Army, he opened up the third eye in the bad guys camp. That joker didn't open up his third eye on the Lord's side. It's not just the heat. It's not the heat. It's the magnetics. It's everything about our reality is wrong, and it's affecting us. That's all I can say. Our reality has had some sort of major malfunction, and we're feeling it. I'm trying to hang on. I hear thunder getting closer, so my live might start messing up. I'm surprised it's even doing it. I mean, I've had good luck so far. Man, I got a few blackberries left around here, Stacy. I missed all my blueberries. They're gonna birds and everything eat everything. Yeah, applesauce. When things get haywire, and look, the moon's fixed to be full here shortly because it's been getting bigger, more and more of it. I've been getting more than enough sleep, and it's not helping me. I've been taking naps throughout the day and stuff when like on the weekends. Yeah, the magnetic field. That's what I was talking about. I watched Blue Kool-Aid. If you watch that squash, when they keep it in the video, over a period of time, you can see there's like a whirlpool of energy and it's just spinning in toward the earth all the time. Squash, I can't help it. I'm fixing to hit. I got a birthday coming up in less than a month. Dadgummit. I thought about you today, Squash. Check this out. I'll be right back. You still there, Squash? Looky there, Squash. I got some squash. I'm gonna fry up some squash and some butter and chopped onions. Ooh, that's gonna be good. Oh man, you could if you get everybody on the same page. Love for Angels, it would work. That's the whole deal. Everybody's gotta be focused on one little point. They gotta pinpoint that focus. I guess enough focus all around, as long as it was close, might work. I don't know. You're right, Squash. I remember back then. Man, let me tell you, back then, I used to do body work on wagons and carriages and stuff. And hey, I know you're up in Kentucky, Shauna. Your weather's all whacked out up there too. Applesauce. It's not just my birthday. Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I was fishing right outside of Memphis on the Mississippi River, and next thing I know, I was in St. Louis. I was like, man, I thought I was fishing on the banks of the Mississippi in Memphis, but I wound up in St. Louis, man. Yep, saw the arches. They built the arches. It was out of wood the first time it rotted, and then they made the one I got now. Wait a minute, yeah. I'm trying to read this chat. Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Applesauce. When's your birthday? Did I miss something? I did. How'd I miss that? Man, that chat went fast. All right, Applesauce, relax. Applesauce, do you not know when your birthday is? Well, thanks, but I don't celebrate my birthday. I don't care about it. I don't care about any of these holidays. That's just me. Because in the Bible, I think it's Jeremiah. I can't remember. It might be like 10:3 or 4. It might be Jeremiah 3. But anyhow, somewhere in Jeremiah, he says, don't do as the heathens and bring trees into the house and prop them up with wood and nails. Meaning, make stands for them so you can set them up. And then it says, and do not, don't bring them in using wooden nails to prop them up and hang gold and silver on them. What do y'all think happens around December every year? People bring trees into their house, prop them up, and put gold and silver garland and stuff, and gold and silver balls. And the Bible said, don't do that. Don't be as the heathens, because that's celebrating. I forgot what god that was. It was the winter solstice, whoever that god is. But anyhow, Leos, man, who would want to be a Leo? Man, who's a Leo? Wait a minute, I missed out again. I don't know. First Michael Myers. That's a pagan holiday. Oh shoot! Hang on. Starting to rain again. Oh man, y'all, I am so tired. But I'm still pushing through. What is applesauce is a Leo? I don't deal with Leos. I'm joking. I'm joking. What did Root say? Oh, okay. Dead gum squash. I don't know if Santa Claus did all that. I don't know. I don't know. That's exactly right, Stacy. Man, I haven't had a Christmas tree in my house, and man, let me think. That yum. It had to be in the 90s. Sometime in the 90s, however. It was the beginning of the 90s. I'd say since like 91. That's a long time. 91, 2001. Daggum, that's like 28 years I haven't had a tree. Hmm. Man, I don't know who did what anymore. But I know it's starting to rain and the thunder's getting closer. And I'm surprised I'm still streaming. Coffee. I'm drinking coffee. I haven't even sipped on moonshine in months, man. Haven't even cracked the top. Yeah. Santa Claus is coming to town. I hate. Oh man, I'm gonna shut up. It's not that I hate it. It's just people don't understand what they're being misled into believing. All the radio stations start playing Christmas songs and. Mm. Yeah, I was out of coffee this morning. Well, I had enough to make a little pot this morning. I went and got. I buy this, which is anyhow, it's called Jamaican Me Crazy, and I get like the black silk Folgers or whatever, and I make a mixture of the two. I make my own blend, put my own spin on it. You know, everything's got to be done the John Boy way. Oh, you can hear it. Wait till it really starts raining. I'll have to end this thing. Y'all won't be able to hear me. I already can't hear y'all. Ooh, you got 6 gallons. That's crazy, Squash. You need to make a blend. Get you about 8 gallons. You still got the lesser proof, right? So we got 8. How many? 8 gallons? 6 gallons? If you got 6 gallons, 180 proof. Y'all be able to make what? 8 gallons of some 130 proof at least, right? Dead gum, Squash. I can't find any copper. I swear, I said I'm not gonna do it again until I build a copper still, because I'm not gonna do a little 4 gallon batch. Because I mean, if I'm gonna do a batch, I'm gonna do at least 30 gallons. You know what I mean? I already went to Lowe's. I've seen the plastic trash bins that would be perfect for making the mash in. They're like 30 gallon. I just can't find any copper, man. I need some copper. Because I think if I was copper all the way through, it would really make the taste real. And I need to figure out a good kind of cornmeal because I've tried 2 different kinds. I don't know. I don't. I'm not getting the flavor I'm looking for. I'm getting it's too much like racing fuel. You know, I can't hardly love Rangels. I can't hardly drink instant. I don't know. It's just not as it doesn't have the taste. No, I need a copper sheet, Stacy. I gotta form everything. I gotta form the bottom, then I gotta form the side, and then I gotta form the top and make a cone and stuff. I used to do sheet metal, so it won't be nothing for me to. What'd you say? What's headed which way? What? Applesauce? What are you talking about? Headed which way? What? But yeah, man, I guess I started drinking coffee when I was like 12 or 13. Something. I was at my grandparents' house in Virginia Beach, and they all drank coffee because they were like a Navy family or whatever. There you go, man. I drink before I go to work. I drink a pot, and if I'm at home all day, I'll drink a few pots. And if I run out before I go to bed, I'll make it a little half a pot. I had some good coffee one time. It's called shade grown coffee, and it was grown. Where was it grown at? But anyhow, it was grown in these mountains. I think it was. Where was that coffee grown at? But anyhow, it was grown in these mountains that stayed shaded. And that coffee, man, it tasted like almost like it had chocolate in it. It was good. I mean, it was coffee. It was straight up, no artificial flavors or anything. It was called shade grown coffee. And that stuff for a little bitty bag, it was about that big around, maybe like that tall or whatever. Normally was like $9. And this place, they had that stuff on sale for $1 a bag. And I'm no, they had it was $2 a bag. And I made a deal with the store guy. I was like, I'll buy every bag you got if you sell them to me for $1 a piece. And he goes, done deal. Man, I had like 40 pounds of that stuff. And I thought I'd never go through it, and I did. And I can't find it anymore. That was some good coffee. Man, it was good. Man, Stacy, I'm not going to do all that. I'm sorry. Oh, are you squash? You got some charred wood and some or something? Yeah. Oh man, let's see. Charred oak. Yeah. You know what I'd like to try experimenting and do some like charred sassafras. I wonder what that would taste like. I've thought about that. And then like Coors, they claim they age their beer in beechwood, and I'm like, man, I got a lot of beechwood around here. I wonder what would happen if you age some, whiskey and some charred beechwood. It'd give it a different flavor. What I want to do because I like it is I want to make rum. I would love it'd be white rum unless I put it in charred, put some charred whatever flavor wood. Man, y'all hear that? Not a streak of lightning anywhere. Is it molasses? I was thinking, what would happen if you used brown sugar? That would be your own brand of whiskey, wouldn't it? Because they don't. Molasses makes rum, but do they use brown sugar to make any kind of whiskey? No. Oh man, I better hurry up and do it and patent it for somebody like Squash jumps in there and makes some brown sugar whiskey on me. He'll call it squash juice. Man, I like some rum, man. Anything that you can make a mixed drink out of using vodka, substitute it with rum. Well, except for Bloody Mary, I don't think that would be too good. Maybe I should retract that last statement. These are only the opinions and ideas of John Boy. Do not, follow through of anything that I say or do. It's just my disclaimer. Yeah. I thought about, what I thought about doing, Squash? I got this old recipe for orange wine, right? I thought, well, shoot, why don't I just do that red wine recipe? I mean, that orange wine recipe and distill that and make some orange moonshine. That would taste so good. Ooh, it would taste good. I mean, that muscadine come out tasting like pure out Mad Dog 2020. Well, I mean, with the alcohol kick, not that Mad Dog 2020. It's getting darker on me, isn't it? Well, shoot, how many gallons of 120 did you get? Because you could blend that with what you got, and you'd only lose what? If you put the 120 with the 180, would that bring you down to like 160? But then you'd have an extra few gallons of 160, which is still super strong. Then you could take, well, I don't know, man. I ain't never blended though. I'm about to. Because what I got is just too stout. I mean, 3 sips and you're out for the count. It does, doesn't it, people? I like the sound of orange moonshine. Well, that's what made me think about doing some like sassafras moonshine and stuff. Sit there and make some moonshine, but use sassafras in it. Because I got all sorts of sassafras trees. Man, it's getting darker and darker. I'm fading out. Uh-oh. It must be something eclipsing the sun. No, I'm joking. I was just easing back. But it is getting darker. Yeah, you're going to lose the difference between, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So if you had like 6 gallons of 180 and 6 gallons of 120, you'd have 12 gallons of 140. Which is, like I said, still high. I mean, still good moonshine. That last stuff I bought from that guy, man, I'm telling you. Y'all hear it raining? It's on top of me now. I'm just dancing to the music in my head. That's how mine is, Squash. That stuff, I sipped on it, that's different from sipping on it. You take a real shot of it. Oh, man. Yeah, it got dark applesauce. Yeah, mine did too, Squash. It burned my lips a little bit. That's why I decided I need to cut it. Mine did too, Squash. It burned my lips a little bit. That's why I decided it's still broadcasting. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I do believe this is going to hamper my ability to get another cup of coffee. All right, applesauce. And I love you too, applesauce. We'll holler at you later. True. All right, Stacy, you gone. I appreciate you showing up. I do. I appreciate everybody that showed up, man. It's been a while. I apologize. I've just been tired. And I don't think it's just from working. I think it's from everything. Hey, Mountain Girl. Mountain Girl's in the house. See you later, applesauce. Yeah, I'm waiting for the rain to kick this live off. It hadn't yet. Thank you, applesauce. Yeah, Stacy was in here before I ever went live. I mean, she was waiting. And then who else come in waiting? I know applesauce. I forgot who else. Somebody else. Where's Shanna going? All right, Shanna. Thanks for swinging by, VP. Decided to abandon ship real quick, Squash. It just stopped. I was in the middle. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Man, everything's just shaking their ass off. Man, this thing was. I've lost it. I've lost all form of communication. My screen is buffering now. What the hell? I don't know what's going on, man. Man, if y'all hear me, I appreciate y'all.